On behalf of the San Ramon Valley Islamic Center, I'd like to welcome all of you and thank everybody for organizing this beautiful event. I am so glad that I'm the last person to speak, because when I came out, I was so overwhelmed with emotion seeing you all standing here singing that I didn't trust myself to be able to actually get up here and talk, but I've had time to compose myself. Your sincerity, your support, your goodwill is not lost on any of us. I'm a language arts teacher. I teach middle school and high school students, and I've taught elementary school students in the past. And every year we teach the kids about the Holocaust. We teach the kids about the Civil Rights Movement. We teach the kids about the annihilation of Native Americans. We teach them about the unjust incarceration of Japanese Americans. And we ask the kids, what would you have done if you were here at that time of history? And invariably, every single child says, I would have marched with the African Americans. I would have protested the unjust incarceration of Japanese Americans. I would have sheltered the Jews in Europe. I would have refused to fight against the Native Americans. And then we tell them, you know, that's a lot easier to say once history's been written. Once we know who the winners were, once we know what the mistakes were, once we realize that black wasn't always black and white wasn't always white. There were gray areas as well. And so we tell the kids about what moral courage it takes to stand up and speak out against injustice, to refuse to be convinced by the media, the day in, day out media propaganda that demonizes one group after the other. When I was growing up in the 80s, it was the Russians. They were the bad guys, and now it's our turn. And I want you all to know that, you know, today you haven't just created a ring of solidarity around our Islamic Center, you've created a ring of solidarity around our hearts. Because when our children feel dismayed and depressed, when the next news item happens, when the next Fox News report comes out, and they feel alone, we'll be able to tell them, remember the people who came to our Islamic Center? Remember the ones who formed the ring of support around us? We're going to get them to focus on that. So you have no idea what a gift you've given us, really. I have no words. I felt it was appropriate to read a part of the Holy Quran in English. As you know, Muslims believe the Holy Quran to be the revealed word of God through the angel Gabriel to the Prophet Muhammad. And so we believe these to be God's words. O mankind, we created you from a single pair of a male and a female, and made you into nations and tribes, so that you may know one another. Verily, the most honored of you in the sight of God is the most righteous of you. And God has full knowledge and is well acquainted with all things. He didn't say all Muslims. He said mankind. The other quote I wanted to recite was a quote by a Jewish rabbi. His name was Abdullah bin Salam. He was the most learned of the Jews in the city of Medina. And when the Prophet Muhammad was persecuted out of Mecca, peace and blessings be upon him, and he arrived in Medina, this Jewish rabbi went to go hear him give the first Friday sermon in Medina. And he relayed his words so that we know them today. O humanity, not Muslims, O humanity, spread peace, feed food, maintain the kinship bonds, give some night prayer, and you will enter paradise in peace. So in that spirit, we would like to invite you all inside to share food with us and to help spread peace and to worship in our own ways together. Thank you. Also, I'd like to thank the interfaith groups that were involved in this organization, in particular the Interfaith Council of Contra Costa County. Thank you very much.